This one. When I say it's fun, it's not fun. That it is finally happening. I was born weak and I am still weak. I'm not gonna talk about that. I finished the first year of Rift Architect. Yay. Hello, welcome to, is it the last vlog? I think it could be the last vlog. Welcome to the last vlog. I'm just back from meeting a friend struggling through a migraine, but that's fine. We might be paying tomorrow. But excitingly, I am off for the rest of the week because me and Logan are celebrating our anniversary of 10 bloody years. But as per tradition, it is Wednesday, my dudes, and I have done no reading. So yeah, this is basically the tradition. No reading is done in the first half of the week, but I did actually start something while I was doing my hair earlier, and it's actually this. What was the prompt though? I can't remember. It was something. Oh, games. It was one of the quests that has like games in it. So I started this. Still haven't braved upgrade, but it's definitely coming. But I just wanted to say hello. Welcome to the last vlog. I hope you're enjoying them. Thank you so much for watching, because you're obviously watching this. Oh my god, I'm very not far. I thought it was actually further, but I think I'm just like 20 pages in. That's not even an update. Okay. I'll chat to you another time. We are taking off, so saying goodbye to this one. And where's the other one? This one. And going to Dundee first and Aberdeen later. Hello, so we're in the darkness of our hotel room. We got a bed put into kind of like a ground floor, let's say. Yesterday it wasn't quite as we expected. It just happens. We really wanted to go to all the places that we used to be when we visited the town that we kind of met at. But I was already fighting so many demons to just be able to drive with my migraine. Migraine got really bad. So we simply just had something to eat and moved on. And when we got back, we just laid in bed and watched Sandman. Which was fine, but the migraine was really bad. So an appropriate amount of fun was had, considering. But we did listen to another book in the car, and I really need to see what prompt it would fit for a quest, because I'm sure it would. And it's I'm Glad My Mother Died. I'm sure you've heard of it before. We are quite a ways in. I'm not actually sure how far. Let me check. Oh, so I've not seen the actress in anywhere because I didn't really grow up with the Disney Channel. We're like not quite halfway through, but not far from halfway through. And so this is a story about her life. She was kind of forced into being a child actress, and she really didn't want to, and it's about a very narcissistic mother and their relationship, and I'm assuming how she's going to come to realize how bad it is. But obviously when you're being raised, it's confusing, and there's an extra layer added to that because her mother had a cancer diagnosis a couple of times, I think. So there's that guilt piled on top of it as well. Hopefully today is gonna be a bit better. I have taken more medicine, so currently a bit feeling the effects of that, but we're gonna go have some breakfast, I think, and then we'll see what happens. Today I think is local exploration day. Yeah? Yeah. So on the first day we started it with breakfast at Jojo's. This was a cafe that was recommended by quite a few people when I asked for recommendations for places to eat at and things to see on Instagram, which, by the way, thank you for the recommendations. We did actually end up seeing quite a few of those, and it was very, very helpful. We then stopped by this art gallery because it was really on the way. It was very close to Jojo's, so we thought, why not? And as you can see, there was a very interesting installment with a live person that I didn't want to blatantly film, but I did get a little sneak peek there. and some interesting paintings. Some a little bit more, you know, I want to say jolly, but there's like, I'm pretty sure that's a dead goat. And this one called Tussle for the Keg. And then some pieces were a little bit more disturbing than others. But overall, it was a good time. It was very spacious and very kind of orderly, so it was pleasant. Then we stopped by the Aberdeen University campus. It's a very picturesque scene, at least this bit. Definitely don't be fooled. There are some parts that are very much not like this. Funny story, I actually was accepted to University of Aberdeen, and it's just semi-pure chance that's not where I went. And if I did go here, I would have never met Logan, so that's an interesting tidbit. The next bit that we visited was called the Beach Seal? No, that's the other way around, the Seals Beach. Because it's known for the seals. We didn't get so lucky as to see a lot of them in one place. This bit initially we thought was full of seals, but later realized it was literally just birds. But we did see them pop up. Here we go. Hello. From the water, because they were clearly swimming around trying to catch fish, and it was very adorable. Definitely one of the highlights of the trip for us. And then we stopped by the arcade because we had some time to kill before our movie. We just went to see Thor because we're like the last people to see it, and literally there were maybe like 2 other people in the cinema apart from us, which was great. We also wanted to get a cursed octopus pug, but it wasn't in the stars because obviously these machines are rigged, and you know, some could also say that we were not the best players as well. We did get better at a different game, so we had some tickets to feed to the machine, and then we proceeded to do nothing with those credits. So, you know, there's that. We just got back to the hotel. It's not actually that late. It's like 8:30. But we visited some places, and we listened to... so there was a little bit of driving done. I think we probably got another hour's worth of the audiobook, and both of us are actually really into it, like really enjoying it. It's terrible, obviously. It's so disturbing. When I say it's fun, it's not fun, but we're finding it really interesting. Yeah, it's very interesting, very good. I would recommend. It's very easy to get into, even if you're not someone who's followed her, because as I said, I've never seen anything with her apart from that episode, Malcolm in the Middle. And then we saw Ragnarok. No.
Love and Thunder.
Thor. Huh?
Love and Thunder.
Thor, Love and Thunder. But we actually enjoyed it, but I think it's not super surprising because both of us are, like, we like that is a producer, director,
Yes, director.
Director's work. Yeah. So I can see why that type of humor would maybe be not for everyone, and it definitely isn't the most, like, serious of things. But the screaming goats, I liked. It's just so stupid. I loved it. We just have some snacks and we're gonna watch more Sandman, which we kind of spoke with one another. It's fine and we're enjoying it. It's good. But I feel like it should have either gone darker with the whole vibe or lighter. It just felt somewhere in between, and it just feels a bit lukewarm.
I agree with you though.
It's good, but it's not great.
It's very safe in some respects.
Yeah, it is.
It's like...
It has some cool effects, and I think it's very up and down. Like, we definitely prefer some of the episodes more than the others. Yeah. I really like the one with the guy that keeps living. Just the one that we've seen.
Yeah, the diner scene as well was really good.
Yeah.
Go on with the Ruby.
Gilbert or something.
Yeah, the diner scene where things just keep getting more and more unhinged.
Yeah. And that's another thing. I feel like there's so many like different storylines, and I actually thought that John one is going to run through the whole season, and I actually probably would have preferred it. Now we're gone to the vortex bit, and it's
much weaker. I feel it feels like 2 seasons.
It feels like the other one ended, and now they just kind of have to come up with something else to keep going.
Yeah.
Even though I'm sure it's based on the comics, right? Like that's probably everything's in the comics. But some of the characters and other stuff that we've seen is already kind of reminding me a lot with American Gods, which I preferred the first season over Sandman, but the second season was obviously gone not great.
It's garbage.
But yeah, so I don't know, maybe you will end really nicely. I don't know. Some choices are probably different from what I would have preferred.
I like that everything ties together though, because even
they do foreshadow.
Jed, whatever the little kid's name is, like him, Jed.
There's a lot of things tie in, which is nice.
Mm.
Yeah, plot-wise is interesting. I'm actually a bit terrified of this.
See, this is just like in the film.
Look at the stand. Hello, we are back. I wanted to update you on the fact that we have actually finished. I'm glad my mom died. And it was really good. It was really interesting. It's super unfortunate about everything that's happened to the person. And definitely would recommend seeing some sort of content warnings if you have sensitive themes. But let me check what quest that could possibly fit into. Ooh, this can actually fit the guild events preparation, because we did buddy read this with Logan in the car. I think that counts, so we're gonna go with that. So that's another 10 points for my guild rising up levels. I need to actually check where I am at those. I will tally up everything at the end. The most important thing that I wanted to say is that it is finally happening. I am picking this up. It's happening. I joined Jade's Patreon sprints, so we're doing some sprinting. So I'm hoping to start this and see where we go. I'm so nervous. I could cry, but I already cried a lot today, so I better not. But yeah. Upgrade. Did I stay up until 1 a.m. last night reading this? No, not quite actually. It was probably like 30 minutes past midnight. And I did stay up until 2 or 3 a.m. reading Dark Matter, so I guess that says something. But I'm still really enjoying it. It's just like the themes in here are a bit more... Let me tell you what this book is slightly about. So if you also don't want to hear anything, just skip until I put this book down. But Upgrade is basically a book following a character whose mother was really famous scientist who messed with the genome of things, and things gone bad, and he had to kind of carry the consequences, and she took her own life, and it's all quite tragic. And now he works for a corporation basically that tries to, keep that type of scientific advancement in order. However, on one of his missions, he gets attacked and basically gets his own genome changed, and we're following through that change. So that is kind of the setup. And so as you can kind of hear, and again, I didn't know, and like all of the previous ones, and I mean, it's fair enough, because both Dark Matter and Recursion read super similarly, and I think that is where a lot of the criticism side of it also stemmed from. So I understand why this one is a little bit different, in the sense that we're not really messing with time, but if you know me, that is my favorite thing. So I think that is why this one, whilst I'm still really enjoying it, it's just not hitting quite the same, and it's because that theme is missing. So, I mean, it's fine, and I am all ready, and I didn't forget that it's an annotated book prompt, by the way. I did make some notes, and that counts. I'm here on page 226, chapter 10. It's better like that here. So I have this bit left on the side. I will definitely finish it today, so it's still like read over 2 days, which is very quick for me. I also find writing a little bit too simple sometimes, which is interesting. Like, it will be step by step in first person as well, so it's, and then I went over to this machine, and then I picked this up, and then I heard this, and it's very told on show sometimes, but because of the way that the story is and the way that this genre is, I don't particularly mind that. And I'm still really having a good time, but it's not blowing my mind as much as the other ones, which is such a shame. But also, you know, it's fine. I understand why. I think I would be more disappointed if it did have the themes that I always love and then wasn't making me, you know, turn the pages. Like, if this were recursion or dark matter, the moment I woke up, I would have been reading. And I mean, I managed to wash my hair without, you know, dedicating my whole life to reading this. So clearly the intrigue is a bit lower than I'm used to for his works, but because I actually have like an explanation to myself as to why that is, I'm not having an identity crisis, you know? So it's all, you know, you win some, you lose some kind of thing. But I also have a tiny autumnal haul to show you as well, because I was weak. I was born weak, and I am still weak. That does mean, though, that I have some pretty things to show you. Really not a lot, but a couple of things, like homeware things. So, hello, what a day. I really rushed to film the TBR for September, which was the Bookopoly one, and it was really fun. May have not added all the numbers correctly, but we're not gonna talk about that. I do have only like an hour, maybe even less, because I'm gonna swap to physically reading of Upgrade, and I'm really happy that I have that bit and I can read it physically, because it's gonna be the good bit. But I wanted to show you a little bit of that autumnal purchase thingy. It just makes me happy. So the first thing is this tiny plate. I think I've mentioned this in the previous time, but my long-term goal that I am achieving very slowly is replacing all of my mugs, all of my plates, all of my bowls that are like a set, you know, just like a normal set, like normal people have, into completely mismatched ones. I just like the idea. I like that it's like either would be different every time I take it. Would it look dumb plated out, and do I even have a clear idea of what theme I want? I don't even know if I'm gonna stick with a theme. So far I think it's mainly just like the vibe, and I'm really happy to stick with that, because it just, I don't know, it makes me happy, so don't question me. This is a little plate in a maple leaf, and so one of the plates is literally just kind of rusticy edge, but it's just a normal plate. Some of them are more fun, but this one just felt nice. I also got this burnt orange sheet in Asda. This next batch is from Asda, because we really need to change some of our super old ones, because it's like embarrassing. And I also saw this autumnal double-sided duvet set, and it has mushrooms, and it's dark on one side, which is like this greeny tone, which really matches our flat. However, I will say that the bedroom is one of the rooms that is definitely just not redone in the way that we want. It's gonna be like low on the list, but still, you know, you can have some nice touches. So this will be hopefully one of those, and it's exciting because it's just mushrooms. Another thing is this also kind of reversible, what was it called? It wasn't even called a towel, it was something else. Wait, a bath sheet. And I'm like, all right. So it's just an extra large bath towel. Because I have the big titties, a lot of my towels also just like, it's just not comfortable. Like, they wrap around, but they're not very secure. I don't feel like hugged, you know? So I thought it would be cool to get this, and it has squirrels and acorns, and it's just perfect, again in this kind of color, and kind of like a reverse thing on the other side. And it seems to be, it's not even that much bigger, to be honest. Maybe I bamboozled myself, but you know, gotta try. And it's pretty, it would have taken one either way. And then the very last thing, we actually joke that it's a pillow for Momo because he has his bed. Well, both of the cats have the beds, but the bed, and they sometimes share the bed, but Momo has just been using it much more than Zeus. And it's like this pillow is tiny. It's like super tiny, but it has such cute vibes. And I thought, and this is just peak stupidness, but I thought if I just put it in his bed, then he has a little pillow. Let's get this done, because I don't even think I'm going to start anything else after that, because now that I have September's TBR set, I'm scared. Like it's big and it's long, so I don't know if I should just have a little breather in between in preparation and get my affairs in order. So we're gonna do that. But I do need to finish upgrade, or otherwise I will fail. So let's not do that. Okay, I have finished the book. I think I need to really sit on this a little bit before I maybe rate it, but I think I realized multiple reasons why this was not as enjoyable as the other one. So the first one is the one that we already talked about, is that the plot device, the theme, the thingy that I really like, which is time travel, was not here at all, which is, I think, valid for the author to avoid, because the last two did. But the second one is the fact that the upgrade that the character receives and the story revolves around allows people to not feel. And I think the massive part of why I enjoyed the books is how personal they were and how much they explored what humans feel and how they act in situations that are so bizarre and challenging. And when you take the feeling out and you have abilities outside the norm, it becomes super technical, but not maybe in a way that's very fun for me to read. So there were parts of the book, and even at, the very end action scene, I was actually bored, and that was not great. So I was so disappointed. But I will say that the epilogue actually was so good, and I don't want to say what it was at all, but the reasons I just mentioned became even clearer because I came to that realization before the epilogue, but the epilogue really solidified that is why we had that, because something is done. And I even welled up a little bit at the very end because it's so sad, and we're exploring that like deep loneliness that we had at the end of Dark Matter as well. And I think that's what it was, because the stakes were so high in this one, even though we had high stakes in the previous one as well, it was very much still focused on some individuals, whereas in this one, whilst we still have family things, the stakes were definitely global, and that is the whole message of the book as well. Like, it's your empathy for strangers. Whilst I understand that, and I think that the whole message was beautiful, and obviously the whole setting is the world going to shit, and it is going to shit, so it's very prevalent in that as well, and not fun to think about. It's definitely not cheery because it's already set in the future where a lot of the predicted things had happened, but at the same time it's all just like looking just as grim as before. So I understand, it's almost like ironic that my criticism is of kind of going exactly as to what the conclusion was of the book. So that is not lost on me. But the fact of the matter is that Dark Matter was a book about choices, and then Recursion was a book about memory and what it is to be human. And this is about survival of humans. And so it is just much more vast and less personal, and that's how it felt to me. And I think it lost that charm because, to me, being so attached and emotional with the main characters in the other books was probably the biggest thing that kept me reading. And here I felt way less attached because of the way that the character was, and we kept getting like reminders of how powerful the upgrade is, and I'm like, I get it. And it got repetitive, and I think the writing style that I mentioned before was super kind of technical and very kind of like step by step. It almost seemed inhuman and boring, and I actually realized it's because I'm sure it was intentional, but it still doesn't make it for the most fun reading experience, I guess. The epilogue was something that really pulled through for me, though. I do think that it will help the rating, because until that point I was thinking like, actually this is gonna be a 3-star because I still enjoyed it, but I was just really hoping to at least have a 4. Now that I finished it, I think it could still be a 4 because I loved it, and I'm still a little bit emotional over the last bit because that is where the human comes in, and I need the human themes. I think it was too far removed, and the risk was too global for me to feel that attachment. But the fact that something, I don't know, I don't want to spoil anything, but the fact that basically I'm saying this having had read that book now is very meta, let's just say. So I feel differently about it. Does that change the fact of how I felt during reading it? Maybe, I don't know. It's complicated. So I'm still super happy that I read it. Like, I still loved it now that I finished it. It was a different experience because I think most of my appreciation for the book is actually come from the very end of it and retrospectively, rather than like the previous times I just couldn't put it down. This one wasn't like that, even though for the most part the first like 70% was fine, but like 70 to just the epilogue and were actually not that good for me. So interesting, very interesting. But that now definitely completes my readathon, and I'm done. I finished the first year of Rift Architect. Yay. I'll definitely need to sit on this, and it's a weird one because again, like retrospectively, I appreciate it much more now. Okay, listen, I have slept on it a little bit, and this is such a weird experience because I'm so glad I read the book, and I think it gave me what I needed to give me. And it is a weird experience where, again, once you read it, it takes upon a different meaning. And I think the distance that I felt for the character throughout was very intentional because the upgrade then makes people less human, which was the whole kind of premise. And then what is said later on, the amount of care we put, I'm trying not to spoil it, towards certain things rather than others is also like kind of genetically predisposed. So it just really makes a lot of sense, and I think it's really interesting, and I think it's so well done. But I do not think that throughout it, until you reach the very end, like I can see while someone could be DNFing it because it gets very technical, but not in a fun way. It was a little bit more almost instructional, and it was kind of a little bit boring at times. So I can understand why someone would maybe DNF it, but it would be such a shame because it's so worth it at the end. So I love the message, but I think the execution could have been better with sprinkling in some other stuff in between, because again, the epilogue was so good. So it's an interesting one. It's gonna be a 4-star. I can easily say that. It's still my least favorite, but I still loved it. So we're good. But I think that's everything. I hope you guys enjoyed the vlog. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you read any of these and what you thought. Bye. Bye!